Hey guys, happy Friday. Welcome to another episode, Something Super Spiritual Live. And I have one of my most favorite people in the world, Teresa Rose, the Firehouse Medium. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Jeff. It truly is an honor and a blessing. I love to see your smiley face. So and thank you guys for all being here with us too as well and sharing an experience. And
Yeah, hi guys. We've got Keith, we've got Ness, we've got Stephanie, we've got Gina. Hi Gina. We've got Wendy and Kelly and Joanne and Teresa, Cindy. Hey everybody. Thank you so much for being here. It's been quite a week, hasn't it?
to say the least,
Yeah.
crazy.
It really has. This week has been a lot of movement for myself. How have you felt spiritually? I feel like that there's something happening in the air. I feel this level up. I feel this, this stronger juju in the air. Do you get that?
I do. And you know what? It's everything's about transformation, right? Sometimes things hit you right in the face and you have to change,
So
right?
true. It's so true. It's so true. So Teresa, I don't know. Let's see. I know we're connected to your YouTube Live, your Facebooks. You're connected to my YouTube Live, my Facebooks.
Yes.
Give us a quick little introduction of yourself for those of us who haven't met you yet,
Okay.
and tell us where you are and what you're doing.
All right. My name is Teresa Rose, known as the Firehouse Medium. So a real quick, short Reader's Digest. I'm retired firefighter. I was injured. I had retired 2 months later. My dad passed, and all the mediumship. That's how it came full circle for me. So I'm here in Valparaiso, Indiana.
Valparaiso.
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 Valparaiso. Or Valpo. People say Valpo.
Okay.
Northwest Indiana.
Yeah. Okay. North. So you're close to Chicago. All right. And you do these amazing Wednesday night lives on Facebook that are so inspiring, and inspiring for me, inspiring for the people that watch you, inspiring hope and peace and healing, and the ripples that just are going out all over the place. It's so beautiful.
Well, thank you, and I appreciate that. And again, Jeff, it's truly an honor and a blessing, and it's bringing an awareness and an understanding. More importantly, how this process works to demystify mediumship, because there's a lot of woo-woo, scary. Oh, it's this and it's that. When it's not, and but more importantly, to let you know that your loved ones are truly with you and around you, truly.
Yeah.
And it's through that evidence and that validation.
Absolutely. Speaking of loved ones near you and around you, I get that question often. Are they with me? Do they see that I got a new job, or that I was promoted, or that we moved to a new house, or I just graduated, and I always tell people, here's the thing. First of all, they want to be in our life as much as we want them to be in our life. The love between us is undeniable, unbreakable, completely. And I describe it like a guitar string, the connection from heart to heart, our physical heart, our energetic heart, to their now energetic heart.
Mm-hmm.
And when we think of them, when we yearn for them, when we cry for them, when we think about them and laugh, that guitar string is pinged. And like any guitar string, it vibrates all the way to the top. Boom. Yeah. They're right there.
Absolutely. What about the plot? What about this, Jeff? What plot twist here? Okay.
Give me a plot twist.
Okay. You're thinking about your loved one, right? You're like, oh my gosh, I'm thinking about myself, for example. I'm thinking about my dad. Oh, Dad, I'm thinking about you. What if Dad is actually thinking about me to think about him because he's thinking about me? Does that make sense?
Totally. That's awesome. Actually, I hadn't even thought that far into it. It's just like
that's why I said plot twist.
Totally. Say that one more time.
So, you know how we think about our loved ones, and I'm going to use myself as an example. I'm going to use my father. I'm thinking about my dad. I'm like, oh, my dad just popped in my mind. I'm thinking about him. But what if my dad is actually giving me the impression to think about him because he's thinking about me?
Oh, exactly.
I just gave myself the chills.
Yeah. It's so, it goes right back to me saying they want to be in our lives as much as we want them to be in our life. They want to talk to us as much as we want to talk to them, you know?
Yes, and there's no
Oh,
separation, there's no divide. Our loved ones are always with us and around us, always.
always.
And you know, the questions I get asked is, Teresa, well, how can they be here and be in other places? Because they're not bound by a body. We're
No,
multidimensional. Spirit is multidimensional.
100%. Our souls are so expansive and so enormous. Our mortal brains in the skull is not, it's so hard for us to wrap our mind around that, you know?
Yeah. Because
But here's the thing. You know what? I'm going to tell you a story that just really blew my mind that is evidence to what you just said. Okay. So I was part of a circle with a teacher in Los Angeles.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that circle, she asked for volunteers to come in and do their thing, give the mediums a chance to practice. And she would give exercises for the mediums to do with the volunteers and their loved ones in spirit. My partner, Evan, was in on it along with his sister, who was in Florida at the time, simultaneously. The two, and now Evan was in one room on Zoom and his sister was in another room on Zoom simultaneously. The same two people that came in through the medium for Evan came in at the same time through the medium for his sister. Simultaneously. And that goes to, it was evidence for us in that moment that we say how they can be at multiple places at the same time. It was the coolest thing to experience.
It's mind blowing.
Yeah.
You can't even fathom. You're like, we know just a smidgen of the spirit realm.
Oh, barely a sliver, barely.
but we're here to forget. We're not here to remember. Yeah. Well, we're here to remember, but we have to forget to remember. If that makes any sense.
Absolutely. We came in with this body as our veil.
That's right.
And the more I do this, the more I talk with people, the more I do connect with meditation. We are here to choose love. We are here to work through our challenges, our obstacles, our struggles with relationships, with friendships, with addictions, with health issues, and through all of that, it's so easy to fall apart and fall into the spin cycle. And just to have that reminder of choosing love, what would love do in that moment?
What would love do now?
Absolutely.
Even in those hard, difficult times.
And sometimes,
but you know what? But it's okay. It's okay, Jeff, because we're human, and it's okay to we're human, and we have those emotions.
Totally.
And it's okay to feel anger. It's okay to feel all of those things.
Oh, completely.
We just want to get stuck there. Right?
Yeah. And that's what I was going to say, because there are times when we might be so triggered over people can be mean and aggressive and disrespectful and aggressive and abusive, and so we're here to live all of that, but ultimately remember.
Remember, like it's like coming together. Remember.
Yeah. So let me look over here, you guys. We've got a lot more people. Hi, everybody. We've got Katie, we've got Lorianne, we've got Ward, Kokozan. Hi, Kokozan. Julie, Jen, Maria. Teresa, do you see the comments on your right side?
I do see them.
Oh, Michael Christopher. Hey.
Hi, hey, Mike.
Yay. So I had asked you earlier, how's your week been? What's going on this week? This is kind of what I did last week with Tracy. What has been on your mind this week? What's been pinging you that has also been a learning lesson?
Yes. And you know what? And when you ask, like, immediately let's talk about healthy boundaries. And when I say healthy boundaries around us as humans, but how it coincides with spirit. And what I mean by that is because Jeff, we do teach love.
Yes.
Because this process, mediumship, is about love. It's your love for your loved ones, without their love for you. It's all of those things, but also that it's okay to set those healthy boundaries. Us as humans, we it's like those people that are in life that are difficult, to set those healthy boundaries, love them from afar, and be it, and that's okay too. You don't have to have people in your life if they're toxic for you, if they're not good for you.
No. And that's hard. That's really hard. I have had some friends in the past that were very, very difficult. And I mean, long-term, 20-year, 25-year friendships. And it was really hard. They were struggling with mental health that was intertwined with addiction. And those two fueled each other in a really toxic pattern. And I started to feel guilty because I didn't want to be around, and I felt like I needed to help or try to inspire hope and walk the talk. And until it just got to be too much. He wasn't ready to hear it, wasn't ready to listen to it. And you can't force people to, if they're not ready, they're not ready. And it's okay for you to distance yourself.
Oh,
best
100%. It's 100% okay.
Honestly. And I still love him. I love him from afar.
Right. But, and also when you distance yourself from even a family member, it's still difficult because you still have that guilt, that shame. Am I doing the right thing? I feel bad. I shouldn't be doing this, but yet it's not serving you, that relationship, or that it's not serving you. And you have to set those healthy boundaries, no matter what your outside circle family say. Yeah. You have to follow your journey.
It's true.
And it goes back to that saying, do no harm and take no, I don't want to say the cuss word, but
it's all right. But it's true. It's absolutely true. And it's a hard lesson to learn. It was for me anyway. I mean, it really was. I held on for a long time.
And I've done many sittings and readings, Jeff, when loved ones come through. They don't want us to hold on to that shame, that guilt, any of that. They don't want us, because once we cross over, we shed the ego, the fear, the suffering, the pain. And it truly is love and bliss. And it comes from a place of unconditional love on spirit's side. Once we cross over, there's a complete understanding and awareness, but it comes from a place of unconditional love, no judgment. However, we're human. We're still here. There's a difference between unconditional love and unconditional tolerance, right?
Absolutely. That's a really great point. Unconditional tolerance.
What are you willing to tolerate? What is healthy for you?
Yeah.
And the outsiders looking in are going, what is happening? What is going on? They are not on that person's journey. They have no idea what is going. That's why I said, we have to be kind. Just be kind. Just be kind. We don't know what people are going through. And attacking somebody and they clearly don't know what's going on. This is the trouble we're in. Right?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. I saw something years and years and years ago, and it said something about if we were to see everybody as the light being that they are, how the world would change.
Absolutely.
That's all we would see is their light. We wouldn't see color. We wouldn't see challenges. We wouldn't see, oh my gosh, we wouldn't have any of those judgments if we just saw the true light that they are. And I often have to remind myself of that, out in traffic, if you get aggressively cut off, you get some cranky people. There are a lot of people jammed together in these cities, and it's a pressure cooker sometimes. So to be aware enough within yourself to contain and manage your emotions in a way where you respond to all of this rather than that reaction. You know what I'm saying? And
well, and that's where healthy boundaries come in. And that's where it's okay to, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. I send you love, and I'm going to live. I'm going to continue to do the best I can. And if you have to remove people, places, and things from your life, then do so. What is healthy for you, and not allow somebody to tell you what they think is good for you.
you know, it's really interesting that we're having this conversation because earlier this week, there's this guy on Instagram, and I think he's on TikTok too, but I think his name is Josh FFW. And I think he's in England, or, well, I know he's in the UK. I'm just going to say he's in the UK. And he's like a counselor, he's a therapist, and he talks a lot about toxic parents and toxic relationships, and how so many people, you know, they'll say, well, you only have two parents. You gotta, you know, you love them for who they are, and you know, be in their lives. And his main point is absolutely not. You do not need to remain in their lives if they are harming you and toxic in a way that you constantly feel crumbled and feel like crap every time you leave. No. And that's a big awareness to have. He gets a lot of guff from people for his stand.
I'm sure. And Jeff, we didn't come from our parents. We came through our parents, not from. And you know, I may get something from this too, but we owe nobody. We don't owe anybody anything. We're here to create. We came through our parents. We actually picked our parents. I know. This is
absolutely.
Crazy. I must have been drinking.
You were at the bar in heaven. You're like, all right, let's get this over with.
No, and you know, even those tough people, and I even said this last night at my event. Those hard people that are in our life are our angels. They're here to help us remember who we are. However, healthy boundaries does not mean that you need to have a relationship with such a person.
Yeah.
Love them from afar.
Yeah. There are teachers. Those most difficult relationships are our teachers. You know, I remember learning that, I don't know, 15, 16, a lot of years ago. And I remember thinking, no, no, I don't like that answer. No. But yeah, you know, they really teach us to go within and view through the lens of compassion. And when I say that, I mean, it doesn't mean that we give them a free pass. No, but somewhere on their insides, they're hurting. And we know hurt people, and they're angry.
This is true. This is true, Jeff. I didn't mean to cut you off, but that doesn't mean you need to tolerate.
No,
hurting people hurt people. Doesn't mean you need to tolerate it, though.
No, not at all.
Because you know, I find that a lot. Hurting people do hurt people, but they use that as a crutch and as an excuse.
Like it's okay.
I'm hurt, and I've you know I had a bad life, and I've been hurt, so I'm going to continue to hurt other people. That's a cop out.
Yeah.
Get better.
It's an excuse.
Heal within yourself.
We all have traumas. We all have childhood trauma. Yes. We all have adult trauma, right? You know, we've been through the ringer. Some of us more than others. And yet we owe it to ourselves to have those boundaries, to create our own peace. Yeah. What do you think about those apples?
Well, you know what? It's just like relationships. You have your apples, you have your relationships, and some of those apples may not be such good apples. And you need to do what you need to do to protect yourself and protect emotional self, your mental health, all of that. You need to protect your energy.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? Ness says, I wish media and culture had better examples of healthy relationships.
This is what we should have been learning in school years ago.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, it's so funny. I just had this reading this week, and her parents were coming through. And her parents, like, they showed up, and I was fighting back tears. You know, when you start to feel that emotion and you
Yes.
have to completely center yourself and you're pulling
Yes.
yourself together and like, I got this. Take a deep breath and you just continue. Her parents, and in fact, I think I said this in the reading, they were the model that we all would strive for. And speaking of examples of healthy relationships, you know, there are some out there.
Yeah.
And to have that feeling come through in a session like that is so beautiful. The connection. And see, that's just it. They were married for like 60 plus years, you know, and then one passed, then the other passed, didn't, you know, not that long after, as that happens.
Mm-hmm.
But to be immersed in that intimacy and that connection and that love for 60 plus years, that is so beautiful.
And I'm sure though in those 60, it comes with their own growth and their struggles and that bond that 60 plus, that's a long time.
Totally.
That's a long time. So
Yeah.
they're doing something right.
Yeah. Yeah. And they were, and part of the evidence that they were talking about were the ups and downs through life.
Yeah.
And how they still maintained their own commitment to each other, and they held on, and they had this communication when so many of us aren't really taught communication, right? And they had this communication, and so they grew together. They grew together for 60 years. That's amazing. I mean, that's like, you know, I'm 52. I'm almost 53. That's what I want for the rest of my last leg of life here, you know?
Your last leg, right?
Yeah.
You're in the prime. You're in the prime of your life, Jeff.
Well, sometimes it doesn't feel like it.
Yeah, yeah, I get it. You get out of bed, you're like, "Oh, that hurts. Oh, this hurts."
It's true. And you know what? When that does happen, I'm like, oh, is this an age thing? Because I don't feel it here.
No.
You know, I still feel 15, sometimes, you know, 12 when my inner child is like, woo.
Yeah. You know what? My beloved just said this before I left the house. She read something, I think it was on Facebook. She said something like, "You're as old as your energy," or it was something in regards to that. And I was like, you're as old as your energy, right? So, energetically, what are you manifesting? What are you if you're a meditator? What are you meditating when you're, because everything's energy, right? So
Yeah.
what you put out there, what you think about, you create. So which makes total sense.
Oh, totally. Mm-hmm.
You're as old as your energy.
You know, I'm okay with that. I'm totally okay with that. I love Disney World. I love Disneyland. I love roller coasters. I can play with the best of them.
Skydiving?
Now, I really not sure that I love that.
Oh,
I mean, I think it would be a real rush. I love to fly, but I just don't have that desire.
oh, it's the best feeling in the world.
How many times have you done it?
Twice.
Yeah, I mean, I'm typically not afraid of heights like that, being up in a plane,
Uh-huh.
looking down. I like what I would love to do. I would love to Paris or oh, what is that called? With the hang glide. I would love to hang. I would totally jump off the top of a mountain and just glide down, you know.
Yeah. Well, if you could do that, you could skydive.
Yeah.
And it's such a liberating, freeing feeling. You can't even describe it. Like words can't even describe it, but it just feels, it's freedom. It's freedom.
You know, I think that as you're talking about that, it probably I believe that it probably taps into that spiritual connection to our soul, that freedom that we have, that liberation in spirit that we feel.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a lady talking years ago about like flight attendants and how flight attendants are she called them earth angels, but they love to fly. They're, you know, they're connecting with that aspect of themselves that remembers what it's like to fly and move to places like that in spirit. And I wonder, yeah, I think that's interesting.
Should give it a go. Put it on your bucket list, Jeff.
I'll put it on my bucket list.
Hey, I'll fly out there so we could go skydiving. How's that?
Okay. Yes, please. All right. You know what? Michelle has a really good question here. Michelle Ann, where are you? I saw you're moving up. There we go. She says, but the other side of the veil, how do we have a relationship continue when one person is here and one is there? Great question.
Do you want me to answer that, or do you want to
You go first and then I'll follow up? Yeah.
Me? All right. So on the other side, how do we have a relationship continue when one person is here and one person is there? Of course, it's going to be different, but there is no disconnect because we're all connected. And even in difficult relationships, as we were talking about, there's difficult relationships here. Once we cross over, there's a greater understanding, and you could have a new, different relationship if you so choose to. Right?
Mm-hmm.
If you so choose to.
Yeah. You know, the experience I have specifically with this question, I lost my grandmother in 2002, and she was, we were like this. And it was before I really opened up. I opened up in 2006 when I became attuned to the Reiki. But before then, I always knew there was something more. I felt it, but I never really dwelled on it, but I just felt it. After she passed, I still continued to talk to her. I still carried on a dialogue with her if she was with me, if I was having a bad day or whatever. And after a little bit of time, I realized that our bond actually got better. Mm-hmm. And the relationship shifted because obviously she's not physically present here, mm-hmm. but she's actually there in a way that is way closer than she ever was when she lived 2,000 miles away from me for the whole life that we were together.
Yep. Absolutely.
And it really, you are still able to allow that bond to build and to grow. And they're always listening. They always hear you. They always hear you if you're talking to them in your mind, or if you're using your voice, or if you're writing a letter, mm-hmm. or if you're texting their phone that's still here. Mm-hmm. They're hearing and getting all of that.
And, you know, your loved ones will absolutely come through and guide you. They won't tell you what to do because we still have free will, but they will definitely come through and guide you. And it is a stronger relationship and bond, just like with my father. You know, he's not bound by a body. He's in spirit. So I hear from him all the time.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you know, I didn't mean to cut you off, Jeff. Okay, we all have the ability to connect. You don't need a medium to connect with your loved ones. You have the ability to connect. You're able to hear and sense and feel from your loved ones. But I get it and I understand it because I kind of, you know, I get my own way sometimes. Is that my dad thought, you know, is that my thought or my dad's thought? So I understand it. But you definitely don't need a medium to connect to your loved ones. Because I get it sometimes, you know, like, well, tell my mom I said hi. Well, you just did. You just did. She hears you. And not only does she hear you, but if you're thinking it, they know it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really beautiful. And I know it's hard for us to wrap our minds around that. And a lot of people, I get a lot of the questions too. Well, if they can hear everything and see everything, are they watching me in the bedroom? Are they watching me take a shower? Are they, you know, well, I suppose, but they don't care. No. You know, I mean, they lived here. They know what being a human being is like. And it's so not on their radar to even care. You know, I talked about this years ago. You know, when we're walking through the zoo and we see two animals going at it in their, you know, where they're kept, we don't even, it doesn't matter. There's nothing erotic about it. There's nothing, it's nothing to be embarrassed about, nothing to be ashamed about. And that's what it's like. We just look and laugh and carry on. You know, it's the same thing.
This is probably TMI, but I get a lot of my information when I'm in the shower. So
I do too. Oh, all the time.
yeah.
Yeah, when I really started practicing full time with the mediumship almost 5 years ago, when I would shower in the morning. I'd have a line of practice sessions lined up, and they'd show up in the shower one after another, and I could see them in a line. If my first session had 3 people, the first 3 were grouped together. The second person had 2 people, the second group was 2 people together. So I knew how many people were for each person. It's crazy. I think that's the water. It's the energetic conduit that, and plus we're in a state of relax. We're in a state of open, and that's what it takes to connect with spirit. So,
well, not only that, I mean, you're just cleansing. It's cleansing, and it's kind of like it's like you're opening yourself up.
Completely.
At least for me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, we just had something. Hold on. Oh, so Emily made a comment about the plane. In a plane looking down out a window probably feels safer than an open door looking down. I feel like I'd spaz out once the door slid open. Yeah. How did you feel your first time? Were you excited?
Oh my gosh, I was so excited. Actually, I have the video. I should post the video. But I was so super excited, and when they open the door and you're literally sitting on the edge, because I'm tandem, obviously. I'm tandem, and like they kind of like rock you back and forth, and they count down, okay, 3, and then boom, you roll out. So it was not like 3, 2, 1, we're gonna go. No, it was like rock, 3, and then it's so liberating and so freeing. And if you're able to, I would definitely highly recommend at least giving it a go if you're healthy. And yeah.
Emily wants to talk. Dawn wants to talk about an address. I'm in between an early 20s active person and a 75-year-old arthritic person. So I get that. I've got these weird things happening in my thumbs and joints, and yeah. Hey, you know what? We're still here. We're here to create. We're here to live. And if that's the way it's got to be, well, we've got ibuprofen, right?
We have Advil. No. Ice bath.
Yeah, that too. Oh, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, look, Teresa White is acknowledging you. She's had 2 readings from you. Always brings her family through. She brought some peace. You know what? That is the most rewarding thing, is to know that they've been left with peace.
Yeah. We want to find our people, our lovies better than they were when they came in, right?
Yeah.
And how do we do that? Is through evidence and validation. And I always say, like, this process, it has nothing, even though I'm the medium, has nothing to do with me. It's spirit flowing through me. So thank your loved ones. And I appreciate that, but it's your loved ones that's giving me the information. If it wasn't for your loved ones, what would we be doing, right?
Yeah.
I mean, even though this is a 3-part process, it's from spirit, through spirit, myself, to spirit, the sitter. Same thing for you, Jeff.
Yep.
But I like to take myself out, so to speak, and say, thank your loved ones. Yes, and I, it's truly an honor and it's a blessing, and I appreciate all of those things. And it gives me peace too, for people to walk away going, oh my gosh, but thank your loved ones. They want you to know. This is why they come through, is out of their love for you.
Yeah, they want us to be happy. They want us to live. They, of course, they of course love to be, honored and remembered and included. But they're really concerned about us and our welfare. They know what it feels like to grieve. They know what it feels like, and with this awareness that we have,
You know what? I don't know if you see this, but I think it's Linda Herber. She had not so much a question, but it was a statement. But I would like to respond to that if we can.
All right, Linda.
It's Hubner.
Oh, there she is. Hi, Linda. Oh, yep.
Okay. May I
Go ahead.
respond?
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. Oh, mhm.
So here's the thing. Your loved ones, once they cross over, again, just like Jeff said, they want you happy. You're still here. You're still in human form. They want you to live your life and they want you happy. And people struggle with, for many reasons, they struggle with, is it too soon or not too soon? Not only that, they get outside sources telling them, what are you doing? You're not ready. It's too soon. You know what? It's none of, you love them so much, but it's none of their business what you do. It's your life, your journey. You know when you're ready. And I'm going to go one step farther than that. I was doing in an event in the VIP. The gal asked a question. Her husband had passed. It was her husband, very much in love. He had passed quickly, unexpectedly. She's now dating a gentleman, but the gentleman is not comfortable with the love that she has for her husband. And I told her, then he's not your partner, because your partner, a true partner, would understand and help you in your healing journey, which is not linear. It's all over the place, knowing that your husband has passed tragically. That's a partner that supports you.
Linda is saying it's been 5 years. Yeah. So many times in readings, a spouse, husband, wife, partner, whatever, will encourage that next relationship. And they often will say, you know what, I'm nudging, I'm pointing you in the direction. I got my eye on somebody for you, and there's already a plan in place. And this feeling of not being understood by the new partner, not understanding that love and that loss, especially if it was unexpected and tragic. I mean, throw that onto it as well. I mean, yeah, that's not the partner. You're right. But
And
Linda,
you know what?
yeah.
And it doesn't matter if you're 20 years old, 30, 40, 50, 60, 90 years old, and your partner passes, your spouse passes, and you get to choose. Your loved ones want you happy. And just like you said, Jeff, they could be actually sending somebody in your circle.
I've seen it
Right?
many times. Yep, I've seen it many times. Yeah. Yeah. So Linda, do your best to let that go, darling. You're not cheating on him. He wants you to be happy more than anything. And release that. He's thrilled for you. There was another comment similar to this. Dawn made a similar comment. Just mentioned something above similar. I know they're happy for us. I don't feel like cheating, just that I still wish you were here. Much love. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Grief is a process, and it is not to be judged. It is a process, and it's okay. And that's part of it.
And we get a lot of what we call the peanut gallery, our friends and our family, of what they think we should be doing. No. Be still, be quiet, and do what's best for you.
Yeah.
Right? They don't know. They're not on your journey.
They're not.
They're not living your life.
And I think a lot of that stems from people. I think people are just really uncomfortable with that kind of loss. People are really uncomfortable with that kind of emotion. And I think the people who don't love you They don't matter. So you might have people at work saying, what's taking her so long, or why isn't she back at work yet, or whatever. No, no. And the people who do love you truly understand.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't, it's not, I don't want us to hold on to that or feel guilty or shame or blame. No judgment there, because grief is, I truly think it's one of the absolute worst things we came here to work through. I mean, we've got a lot of challenges out there, let's be honest, but that's a doozy, I mean, it's just
great to be human.
Yeah.
But you know what? But you know what though, Jeff, we're here for a reason, a purpose, and we chose to be here. We chose to be here and to be human in this form, in this day, in this time, and it's our perception and how we want to see the world.
Yeah.
Even through those hard and difficult times.
Yeah.
We get to choose. We get to choose how we want to show up.
Yeah.
And it's not our responsibility to, like, okay, how do I say this? Like, we're all in it together, right? We're all connected, but it's not our responsibility to take care of other people in a sense of trying to save them or fix everything. And believe me, I'm a fixer and I want to fix it all, right?
Yeah.
I want to make it better. I'm going to take away your pain and I'm going to take away your hurt and just make it all better. And it doesn't work.
It doesn't. And
It
you know
doesn't
what?
work.
Sorry, connected to that, Ness says, James Baldwin once said, in America, grief has an expiration date. Isn't that interesting? I think we grow around the grief. I think the grief, it doesn't diminish. I think we grow. And the more time that happens between the time that they're gone as we're moving forward in time, I think that we start to wrap happy moments, good times around that ball of grief, new memories. The grief is still there, but when we're able to to move through and start to create new memories, and it's like that adage of, if there was a jar with a bowling ball in it, it's going to fill the entire jar. That's the grief. That's how it feels right now. But as we grow, our jar, our container grows around us. We grow. And so suddenly that bowling ball suddenly looks like it could be a little golf ball because we grew over the years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it definitely changes you.
Christy says, I believe people make us think once the funeral is over, we should just move on.
Oh, it's just begun.
Okay. Darling. Uh-oh. The chat moved. I just had somebody else. Can you see the chat?
I can. Who are you looking for?
Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry. Oh, it moved. I'm sorry. I missed it.
Post it again. What's the name?
I missed it. I just saw some keywords that gave me a... Oh, here we go. Dawn says this. This wasn't it, but this is a good one. She says, I think when we move on, our significant others don't truly understand, just like anyone else wouldn't unless they've experienced the same. Be kind and gentle with yourselves.
Ah, I love that, Dawn. Experience. Nobody knows what somebody's going through unless you have your own experience.
Yeah.
I love that. You don't know. You just don't know what people are going through until you experience it yourself. You just don't know.
Totally. And let's a follow up from Kay. How long does it take for you to fully hit you that they're gone?
That's a great question, Kay, and I don't think there's a timeline for that.
I don't think so either.
There's a lot of factors that go into that, and I don't think it really hit me for my dad, because I was so consumed of taking care of my mother and doing things for her, that it wasn't till like year 2 or 3 that it really hit me that I never really got to grieve my father. So I don't think it's a time thing.
I don't think it's a time thing at all. I don't think that there's anything that can predict anything for us to get through that kind of loss and emotion.
Hmm.
Juanita says, my granddaughter, 28, was killed in a horrible car accident on May 26th. Behind, she left her 9 and 6-year-old. There's a huge possibility she was set up and killed. But even though Teresa picked me in her readings a couple weeks ago, and I was praying for answers as to who it was behind her death, it helped a lot to handle this.
Oh,
Thank you.
Juanita, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Juanita. And you know what, Juanita? Love was flying at you in that room from all couple hundred people.
Wait a minute. Now it's clicking. As you're talking, as you're saying that, I think there was a little girl in the background. I think I remember, as you're talking, I remember
Mhm.
hearing a little girl's voice in the background when I was on
Yeah.
the phone with her.
Yeah. My friend Sue Brassel. Hi, Sue. You're here too. Sue and I were watching together, and this was just, it was a really, really beautiful experience. And it was a really beautiful experience for everybody witnessing this experience. And I'm very, very sorry for your loss, Juanita. I mean, that's a biggie, but you've got a lot of love coming at you.
Absolutely. I remember that. That was so profound. I
Mhm.
think there's a lot of people that was touched and moved by that reading.
Mhm. Yeah, and we don't remember them. There are like little bits and pieces that
Hmm.
might ring a chord, just like what happened tonight with you, with regard to Juanita and the little girl. But yeah, that was really something for everybody watching.
Hmm. Profound.
Mhm, mhm.
And the love in the community. It's just
That's the
it's
best part.
supporting. It's supporting each other.
Yeah.
We're all here. We're all here because you guys want to hear from your loved ones that have passed on. You're all are grieving, so you're experiencing the same things in a different way.
These communities, literally, I am so overwhelmed with the love and the welcome and the warmth and the kindness and the compassion. It's just amazing to me.
Hmm.
And I love how everybody is becoming friends in the chats, and everybody visits all of the friends that are doing their other shows with Kevin and Jason and Linda. And I mean, there's so many others, and it's a really beautiful community.
It
Thank you
is.
to
It
all
is.
of you for being part of it and creating it, co-creating it together. It's really awesome. Um, oh, Carol says, grief isn't something that can just be gotten rid of. I lost both my parents within 3 weeks of each other.
Ah,
I wish I could have just told myself, well, that's done. It isn't.
wow. I am
Yeah.
so sorry. That's difficult.
Yeah. And Michael Christopher, he lost his siblings too. And grief is, we need to be love. We need to be a great big ball of love in those moments
Hmm.
and just hold the space.
And it's self love and self compassion for self too, Jeff. That's where it
Mhm.
starts.
Mhm.
And be easy and gentle on yourself, and know that grief is like riding the wave. You're riding the wave. You're up and down all over the place. Ride the wave, and it's okay not to be okay. But it's also okay to smile. It's also okay to laugh. It's also okay to be not okay. All of those things. It's okay.
Mhm.
Give yourself permission.
Absolutely. give yourself permission and give yourself some grace, because it can be tough. And in community like this, it really helps.
That's right.
So, Teresa, what do you have going on coming up here? Last night you just had another one of your events. I cannot wait to come to you in Indiana and experience one of your events with you.
Oh, you gosh, you have to come out. They're amazing, and my team is amazing, and just the vibe. But Anderson Winery, which is a local event here in Valpo, hometown, it's always a great event at Anderson Winery. It's amazing. It's just the energy there is good, and the event last night was just, again, it's bits and pieces, because I call borrow thoughts and memories. I don't remember all my readings, but I remember bits and pieces. But I just remember feeling the energy. It's just amazing. But yes, I do have events coming up, and I'm caught off guard. I don't even know what my next event is. Isn't this terrible?
No, that's right. Hey, you got a lot going on right now,
I do, but it's all on my website, firehousemedium.com, underneath events. But next weekend I start going back out again. I think it's in Whiting, Indiana. So.
Well, sweetheart, we're going at just about an hour, and I just want to thank you so much for being here with me, and thank you for your words of wisdom, sharing your experiences, sharing the experience of spirit, and being available for so many people.
And likewise, Jeff, and what you're doing in the community that you're creating, and at the end of the day, we're all in this together. We're all walking each other home. So whatever that looks like,
100%
for each and every one of you. Again, just know that your loved ones are truly with you and around you. They want the best for you, but also it's okay to have healthy boundaries and set those boundaries while we're here on earth too, as well. It's love them from afar if that's what you need to do or choose to do. And it's do no harm and take no.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And you guys, I'm adding Wednesday night lives that are going to be pure readings, straight up. I've discovered a way to pull in get you on the screen. So I want to pull you guys on the screen. We'll do the readings. We're going to do mediumship. We're going to do card readings, whatever you guys need in that moment. It's going to be Wednesday night. It's going to be all readings. I've got Michael Christopher coming on. I've got Travis Hope coming on. Teresa, I hope you join me for a Wednesday night live. Well, no, you got your own thing going on.
Yeah, it depends on what time you have it.
Yeah. We'll work around that, because we can be flexible here,
That's right. That's right.
So thank you guys all so much for being here. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for following Teresa, myself, everybody on here, Kevin, Michael, Christopher, I missed everybody else, but thank you guys. You guys are amazing. I love you to pieces, and we'll be in touch again on Wednesday. I'll be putting something out on the social media this week to make the announcement. All right, you guys, I love you to pieces. I'll talk to you later.
Much love, you guys.